We've seen how the hierarchy works with above the line, and this is just another way of looking at a different kind of chart. But just as a review, um, we can see I have everything stated. So if you want to refer to this as a chart, executive producer getting money finds a writer or a script and hires a producer. Associate producers are post production for production. Then here's the producer, and then the purple. This is what I call the triumvirate: the director of photography and production designer with the director work together to establish the artistic vision. And then when the artistic vision is established, the producer hires more help: the casting director, location manager, actors, primary location. Then finally, unit production manager down here. And there's the line I have for you, below the line, which is the crew. So that's what we're going to right now. We're going to look at the crew here and who's the boss of whom here in this hierarchy. Good. So on the box, inside the box here, we have the below the line. And in each designation below the line, people making up the crew, they have their person who is in charge of them above the line. So if we look at the director of photography, who provides the creative direction for camera, lighting, and sound, as I say, underneath them in the crew, those people paid by the hour, so they get a straight 8, and then they get time and a half as they go on, and most movies go into 12, 14 hours, so they get plenty of double time and extra money. They, under the DP's reign, they have the camera department, they have the electrical department with the gaffer, they have the grip department, which shapes the light that the gaffer provides, and also helps move the camera and dollies. And then there's a sound department, which of course records the sound on the set. And all that is under, ultimately, the director of photography. They're the main person in charge. So then in each department, whether it's camera or electric or grip or sound, the key person has people working for them. And this key person is hired by the unit production manager with a suggestion by the director of photography. And then after the keys are hired, they hire everybody on their crew themselves. So if we go right over to the middle here, under the unit production manager, we see the first assistant director. Now this person coordinates the entire crew and assist director on the set. And we'll go more into this later when we get into the class, but the first assistant director is the buffer between the director and the crew. So the director can never fire the crew because they'd be fired all the time. It'd be chaos because the directors are very emotional people on the set. This is their baby, and they can be impatient. So that the first assistant director, first AD, stands between the director and the crew and says, "Listen, I'll handle the crew. You handle the talent." So under the first assistant director, first AD, we have the second AD who handles the call sheet, and the second AD who handles the actors, and then there's the key set PA who handles the extras and wrangles animals, and the PA underneath them is a production assistant. We'll talk about that later, who helps be the eyes and the ears on the set. So that's all under the first AD, which has a guild. The Directors Guild handles all those people. Under the DP, the Director of Photography, that basically all those are union positions. So there's no guild for these people: camera, gaffing, grip, or sound. And just like in production designer, underneath the production designer, who is the head of the people below the line in that area, to your right, you can see the production designer provides creative direction to the art department, and then the art directors hired by the production designer with the unit production manager signing off, and they hire an art director who makes sure the day-by-day implementation of all the art that goes into the movie is taken care of. Whether it's building, we see the offset construction people with the set designer doing the blueprints, and the offset construction, the building pre-build that we saw in the shotgun approach to workflow for the movies. In the pre-build, we have the carpentry, the painting, the welding, the greens. All this offset construction is monitored by the art director, given the design that the production designer came up with. And then we have on-set construction, which takes place throughout the shoot with people who have designations: the set decorator, the set dresser, the props, and the swing gang going shopping for all this, which we will cover throughout the course. And then underneath that also is the art director is the special effects, which means the kind that we do on set as opposed to the mechanical effects we do in post and the editing. And then there's wardrobe, and then there's makeup, and then there's hair, all under the art department. We can see why so many people in a movie work for the art department. I'd say maybe 3/4 of the people on any set are going to be working for the art department. So all these are union positions, remember, in this box. So we also have other various union positions that interact with everybody. The script supervisor who works with the director, we'll talk more about that, making sure everybody's following the script and not mixing up their blocking. And then there are the locations portion, the people who ferry the actors back from base camp back and forth, and then there's the people operating the generator on the set, and then the people who are taking care of the craft services, which basically are the food and water that serve all the different crafts. And then there's catering, which is usually not a union craft. And catering is usually a vendor they bring in from the outside, but catering has to, of course, take care of the meals every 6 hours for the crew. We have a set photographer, which is a union position. We have the electronic press kit, which is not a union position. Those are people we bring on the set to handle all the interviews and then produce the behind the scenes for the DVD. The stunt coordinators, stunt actors, and stunt drivers, which is right to the right of the AD department, these people are all under the Screen Actors Guild. They're, I'd say, monitored by the director, and they're kind of balancing that above and below the line thing, since they are part of the Screen Actors Guild. They're not union jobs, but we put them down there because they do get paid hourly. And then we have a medic you can see floating around there down below to the right. The medic is another union position, and every movie has to have a medic on board. And and if you have children under 16, you have to have a studio teacher who will take care of them during their school days. And we have some other floating positions like that. But this gives you the general idea of what is below the line in the union and getting paid hourly. So there's a division, and also the crew is just a very tight unit as opposed to the dispersed talent unit, which can be there some days and gone the other days. Crew's there from beginning to end, getting your movie done. And like I say, our movie isn't going to have this large crew, which means it's just tougher on us because a great crew can bring you a wonderful final result. But this is just to let you know, while shooting our story, how to make our story the best story could be. You have to have a great above-the-line unit, and you have to have a great below-the-line unit.